I was probably muted there. Good afternoon. Good day. Good day. It is the lunch hour. Glad that you're here. No sound. Sorry about that, folks. Thank you. Thank you. We're all good. Okay. What's up? How you guys doing? We are in the lunch hour, and I'm not sure where the lunch hour is going to go. Is it going to consolidate? Are we going to retrace after the big move that we've seen? Are we going to run to my final target, Friday's equilibrium? That's really where I would like us to see. And we are going to find out in the first 15 minutes. We're going to treat the lunch open or the lunch price the same way we would treat 9:30. We're going to mark our lunch or our noon price. I don't know if I have that on here because I don't do it very often. We're going to mark out noon opening or 12 p.m. open. Open price, and that's what we're going to mark there. I'm going to see if we continue higher or if we close. All right, so we did close above this fair value gap on the 1 minute right here, and it looks like we may push higher right here. We had an inversion. I did take an earlier inversion before the lunch hour right there, so that's where we closed above it. Trades playing out nicely. We should run that high. I'm looking for, what I'm going to look for is a retest of this level, and we want to run there. That's where I'd like to see us run to. Are we going to get it over the lunch hour? Well, it really depends. If we're going to see some aggressive candles like this, I think we probably could. We'll see how that wants to play out. But we have a nice little breaker right here. So I do like this little breaker. It's right inside that fair value gap. Let's see if it wants to come back down to it. But our target is 684. We're at 612, so there's about 70 handles of room here. That's kind of where we want to see price run to. All right, if this holds, I would consider taking a long here. I'm going to do a smaller entry, 1 micro contract right now. I'm going to take that, see if it actually wants to hold here. I'm not doing any extras. Let's see if I got my entry. Come on. That needs to work here. All right, so it's going to be on my shared screen. There's the entry I have right there. I at least wanted to get 1 contract in, see if it's going to hold here. And if it holds and we close above it, I'll probably add a second. If we close above these down close candles, I'll probably add a second contract there. But right now, I'm just going to have 1 contract for right now. Gonna let that bad boy play out. Let's see if it wants to give it to us. I really want to see, excuse me, the close above these down close candles. If we can get that close, that's a good sign. I don't know why my screen is not giving me my micros. There it is, there it is, there it is. Oh, What the heck? It loaded. It loaded, but then I clicked a button and it disappeared. I really do think that we can go higher here, even though we've already had quite an extended move. I really think that that could happen. Let me see if I can get this up here again. We're still just sitting there. Here, I'll have it on the bottom there. We're still sitting in that small fair value gap. I'm hoping that it holds. So my entry is based on the breaker, but because we've already extended, I want to make sure that we hold this price and we just don't sell off a little bit over lunch and see if we can start pushing higher. If we can get that push higher and we get a close above this, that's going to be my indication that I might add a contract. But I want to be patient in this. I'm sorry. Coughing up a lung over here. On the 5-minute, we do have a close above, so that's a good sign on the 5-minute. I just want to see it close above on the 1-minute here. Not a clear close above, so we're still going to just sit here with the one contract. My screen's up. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. All right, there we are. That's kind of what we're looking at right now. Target is sitting right there at 9,684. We're at 612. Be a 70 handle move if we can push up there. Would that be possible? Woo! Over lunch? That's aggressive. You would probably see this sucker start taking off around 12:15. If we're going to do it, it needs to start taking off around 12:15 at the latest. I don't like how we're getting all this low resistance liquidity. Yes, we did close above, but as I'm looking at this low resistance liquidity, I think I'm going to keep it to one contract for right now. Currently sitting up about 20 handles right now. 20 points, pointer-rooskies. Going long towards Friday's equilibrium. I don't need to hit that end target, but if I can get 50 handles out of this, get to 640, I'll probably start moving some trailing stops. This is the fair value gap that we went long off of, which overlapped with our breaker. Ended up playing out, so you could take 20 handles and be done. But we're sitting in a long right now. In my mind, I think everybody thinks we're going to go short, and I think price is just going to squeeze higher, making everybody just regret trying to go short. Because, I mean, we had a nice big move here in the AM. All this price action there. If we start getting, here's the thing, if we get some big candles moving higher pretty quickly, I'll probably take profit. Stuff like this doesn't scare me as much. It could run all the way down here, and if it does, it will stop me out. We'll lose $20 on this. Currently have this copying. I have selected 3 accounts total for this to be copied on. So this will be copied on 3 different accounts.
Submitted.
I added a contract on that dip. I will sell that at 20 handles here. If we can push, I'm going to leave that 1 limit order right there for a 20 handle win. So I can take some profit out of this. Give me a close. Oh. Did not close above like I wanted. $600, 680 or 580. There's our 20-point stop loss right here. All right, 12:15 is about to come. Let's see what happens right here. We either sell off right here or we're going to push higher. 12:15, typically, if we're going to go somewhere, or it's usually around 12:15 that it starts wanting to move. I'm going to move my stop to break even. I'll let this, if it's going to go, this is where it would be. Put it at this swing low. If it's going to honor the trend, it will keep moving higher. If it's going to run lower, then I don't want to be in the trade if it goes below this green candle sitting at 12.12. Move my limit order to 640. There's that little push that I thought we would get right around 12.15. Let's see if this can hold. If it doesn't hold, I'll probably drop this and take a contract off.
Order canceled.
I'm going to take that one contract. I don't know why it moves me so much higher. That makes 0 sense. I know I've had somebody also mention that earlier. Why it does that, I don't know. Because I got in way down here. That was my first entry down there. Doesn't make sense for it to move my position all the way up here. That makes 0 sense, to be honest. I don't get it. I'm going to go ahead and close that for right now. I'm going to see if we can get a, see if it wants to, after that big push, wants to run some of this low resistance liquidity and then move back higher. Good afternoon, Northern. How you doing? Mars, hello. Have you received payouts since the last denial on Apex? 100%. Several. Alkai, how you doing? What's the difference between black and white screens? Two different accounts? Yes, one is TradingView, one is TradingView. TradingView is the where I do all my chart analysis. TradingView is the black screen, is where I do my executions. I think we're going to get a little bit of a sell-off here. Yeah, I saw your post over in the Discord. That's awesome, man. Technically, I've hit my target goals in 2 trades. I could be done for the day if I wanted. And that's probably what I should do. The only way I'm interested in taking another trade is if it gives me an inversion or a breaker. It gave us the breaker Fair value gap entry. Beautiful trade. I think my total handles on that, let me just mark this. Let me get rid of the screen here. I got in at the breaker here. So it's somewhere around here. And I sold on this push. So 40 handles, 30 to 40 handles is what we got on that. I'm happy with that. There's the close above those down close candles. Yeah, we're probably just going to keep running up until the midpoint. Honestly, if we keep going, the next opportunity would be once we hit this level, I'll take a short for maybe 10, 15 handles. That's the only thing that I'd probably be interested. The only other way would be is if we get a drop here, breaker, and we run higher and we run through an inversion or a fair value gap, so I can take an inversion long. But the slow grind is definitely harder. Definitely requires more patience. But honestly, I've seen this in the lunch hour many, many times, is you see all these wicks here. We could see just a candle just go boom. A solid red candle, run through most of it, and then run back up. Hey, look at that. As we speak, it delivers. This is what I'm talking about. Like, though these big candles down are very common over lunch. I shouldn't say very common. That's probably a poor statement. They happen over lunch. And it's like they're designed to get people out of their position, and then it runs higher. How far it low, so the what you got to be careful about is how low does it want to go? I don't know, right? I've tried it where I would take the entry right here, and then it keeps running, and I get stopped out, then it runs back in my direction. So now I'm not really trying to catch a falling knife. Do you want to try to take it at the breaker? Maybe. That would not be a bad place to go. I mean, it hit it to the tick right there. Hit it to the tick. If it shows me another candle, the unwillingness to move lower and the body closes up here, I may look at a long, or we can play that inversion to the upside. Bada bing, bada boom right there. But I guarantee you everybody's thinking, oh, this is the short. This is the short to the downside. That's what I'm thinking everybody's looking at. When my target is this. Now, 70% of the time it hits it on a Sunday or Monday, and 90% of the time, if it doesn't hit it on the Sunday or Monday, it will come back up on a Tuesday. So it's a very high probability. Now, last week it didn't do that because there was a giant sell-off. It came back and actually touched it on Friday. So it took all week, but it did do it. Why happened on lunchtime? What are you saying, Alkai? Sorry, I have my chart. I have it up now so I can see everybody's comments here. Alkai. No. Northern, I totally get it. I would be doing the same thing. You know, honestly, actually, I prefer trading in front of other people. It keeps me more accountable. But as long as you're following your rules, it's really what matters. Yeah, why over lunch? I don't know. I don't know, Alkai. I don't know, but it does it. So I would not be surprised if this just goes that direction now. So it's respecting this breaker that we have here. But it does it a lot. You get these flashes lower, and then it's just like, I want to get everybody out before we run to our target there. I'll do a micro. I'll go long with a single micro. If it stops me out, it's a single micro, but I'll take that. If it respects this, the breaker and the opening price right here, I'll put it right down here. Give it a little room. To sweep that low. But I'm willing to try that. Based on this candle here, it looks like it'll probably run lower. We'll see what happens.
Order canceled.
Yeah. That's the that is the hardest part on these noon. The noon is when does it hit its low? And it may not. It may just sell off completely. But there's no liquidity. There's no entry here. There's no entry. It's just all swing lows. This is why it's like I would rather take my profit. I would rather take my profit on these because you can get this over lunch, and it just, when I see all this low resistance liquidity, it's just like I need to get out. I don't want to hold it and then lose all of it in a flash, because that's literally what's happening right now. Guess we did have an entry right there. That's what I probably should have done. That would make sense to play this inversion to the downside. If this closes, we could play to this swing low here. I would be careful though, if we are still bullish, which I think we are, it could short run this, not run the low here, and then start moving the other direction. So I'm probably not going to take it. Unless you take it off the breaker here, and that's not a bad idea. that was nice. I didn't call it on screen, but I took it. I took the breaker when it came back up into this level here. We closed below it. The screen candle came back up into this low right here. It stopped, so I went short and I sold right at this low. That's trade number 3. I'll show the executions so you guys know I'm not just BSing. All right, so here's my screen, here's my executions. So you guys saw this loss right there. I told you I'd take one micro contract to the downside right there, or to the upside. It went right through it. This was that long that I told you I was taking. We took that long. Oh, interesting. It did keep it. Oh, okay. For those that are on the stream and you heard me talk about how it moved my position, I put my lines on here. So when I closed out that trade, it closed out my first position. That's what happened. So I closed out my first position for an $83 win, and then it left my second position on there only. So that's why when it took the average, it moved it up higher, because it took the second contract that I had. That makes sense. Here's the breaker that I took. I mentioned, I said, unless you take this breaker, and that's literally all that I said. And then you can see right there, we hit that breaker. I went short right there, and then I sold it once we hit this swing low. And why would I sell it at the swing low? Because my target is still is higher. I still think we go higher. I still think we could move higher. So I'm not going to take anything right now. I'm going to, if I do take something else, it would be on the 1 minute chart. It would be this 1 minute fair value gap to the upside. But I have a hunch that it's probably not going to be until the power hour. I have a hunch that it's not going to be till power hour that we start running through this. So we do something like this till 3 o'clock, and then we start running for that level. It was nice. It played out nicely. If it was gonna work, it was gonna work right away, and so it fits my model, so I took it. And that puts me over for the day. That's the thing about trading, guys. I mean, you can sit down at 9 a.m. for the pre-market, or 8:30 a.m. You could sit down at 9:30. You can sit down at noon. You can do the PM session, or you can do the power hour, final hour of closing of the New York session. And you can find a trade almost in all of them. Sometimes you can't, depending on what's happening with price action, but we had a decent setup for we had a higher time frame target that we liked, and that is the key. If you're going to trade, you need to have a higher time frame target that has not been acquired yet. Now, admittedly, we don't know if the higher time frame target has been acquired or not. We just had to identify the likelihood that this target could be hit. And our goal is just to take a small chunk out of that, not necessarily hit it to target. So for example, we have the equilibrium right here, right? Friday's range, midpoint of Friday's range. I took a breaker from here and I went long. Assuming, and I took a breaker, I took 2 trades here. And then I took this breaker right here, low, high, lower, low. We broke above it, found support right here, and I went long. Now, did we hit the target? This is where I went long. Boom. Let me put that on here. Did we hit that target? No, we didn't. Did I make 40 handles out of it? Yes, I did. Because you don't have to hit the target. We just are playing, we're playing the trade in direction of where the potential target could be. Now, your job as a trader is to get really good at identifying those higher time frame targets. Okay? I've been trading the Friday's equilibrium for the last 6 months, and it's fantastic. So anytime I can have it on there, I'm going to use that as a potential target. Now, last week was difficult because it didn't hit it until Friday. So I had to make that assumption that it could leave it for the end of the week and then wait for that opportunity. And it came on Friday, and we had a good trading day on Friday. All right, so breaker played out again. So we had one hit, target, second hit, target, and even moving lower now. This would be the bigger move potentially if it wants to run lower. So does it want to leave this for later? That's a good question. So the next thing I'd be doing is identifying where the midpoint is of the range that we just made. Okay, so here's the range. How convenient is the middle of this range right at this high? You see how convenient that is? So now that I have the midpoint of the range, I have an overlapping breaker, I'm saying to myself, man, I think it would be nice to see a sell-off further to this level right here. And use this level as your opportunity to look for a long. So at this point, my short-term bias is to the downside or a consolidation until we hit somewhere around here. And then I'm looking at, does a long make sense in alignment with the time that we're looking at it? Is it in a macro? Is it minutes before the close of the bell? Then probably not. Right? If it's in the 2 p.m. macro, well, that could make sense for a potential long. Or it may continue to sell off. You have to identify that and be like, okay, well, it's not finding support here, so where's our next target? Because I did the lunch hour, I have not put anything on my charts. I already had my higher time frame target here, so I really didn't care about anything else. Practice, 100%. When you see something over and over and over again, you get more confidence that you can take that trade. And that's exactly why I went long here. I was before, when I was driving, I was listening to some different live streamers, and one of them was commenting on like, oh, it's still going higher. It's still going higher. How can we do this? It was Patrick Whalen, because he doesn't do ICT concepts, and I'm pretty sure he had a loss today. I mean, he definitely makes more money than me, so I'm not bagging on him at all. But I'm like, no, I have a higher time frame target that, to me, is why I could see price move higher. That's why I wasn't like, oh, well, let's look for a reversal right here. I bet you there was tons of people looking for a reversal in this range. And I'm like, nah, I think we could go higher. We ended up getting the reversal before we hit this. So maybe luck of the draw, or maybe this actually could be a target. And here's where you have to be careful, okay? So understanding market structure, I really like this level, okay? But what could price do before it hits there? It could do this, 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 and then finally come down and hit it. How we get there is what we need to stay out of. It's when we hit these key areas at certain periods of time that we want to start looking to see if we can see structure for a bigger move right away.
Sorry, I'm talking with the lady about the ads. Do you want to come ask her some questions?
Give me 5 minutes. Are you done with your conversation?
She has like 18 more minutes. So you want to come up in 5 minutes?
Yeah, I'll be there in a second.
As quick as you can.
Sure.
Okay, thanks.
I'll have to jump off here, folks, a little early. My wife is talking with a marketing agency for her law firm, and she wants me to ask them some questions. But looks like we're still getting that sell-off. Nice structure here. Nice structure. But yeah, I am logging out of my accounts. I will not be taking another trade, most likely. I hit my targets, and one of the things I'm working on or focused on this week is taking fewer trades, taking 3 trades maximum, and being done, whether it's a loss or a win. So I had 3 trades, 1 loss. Is that what I had? 1. I took 1 before stream, so I had 4 trades total. I took 4 trades total, 3 wins, and 1 loss. Not a bad day. Because the thing that I'm trying to build right now is just consistency. Because before I increase my size, I told myself I can't increase size without increased consistency. Because I've increased my size in the past, and I was consistent 75% of the time, but that 25% of the time, it can destroy you. You can make stupid mistakes when you're not disciplined. So I'm working on my discipline being 100% of the time. Yeah, you'll have those moments or those days, but I need it to be really consistent before I size up again. Because, I mean, just with the consistency I've had the past 2 weeks, if I was doing full size or 10 micro contracts, I mean, I probably would have had a $15,000 week. So I got to just be disciplined on the small size so I know that I can be consistent with it. And I know I can, but I got to prove it to myself again because I've had, you can call them relapses. So with that, folks, I think I'm going to call it a day here. It's a short stream here today. I'll be back beginning 9:15 New York Standard Time tomorrow. We'll be here for the New York session. It'll be a good day. We got some news tomorrow, so it should be good for the rest of the week. So stay safe, good trading. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'm happy to answer anything, help in any way I can, or find me on X. Find me on X and let's hang out. So God bless, stay safe, and good trading. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.